So, crisis, insoluble problem, major crisis. Both stepmothers want their names on the wedding invitation. Catherine adores her stepmother, who more or less brought her up. She wants her name on the invitation, and her stepmother is not anticipating, which is understandable because her mom is dead, not anticipating being next to her father. Whereas with my stepmother, who I detest, it's out of the question. Her name should appear on the invitation, but my dad won't have his name on the invitation unless Catherine's stepmom's is left off, which is completely out of the question. That's just unacceptable. No, so I suggested none of the parents should have their names on the invitation. I mean, we're not adolescents here. We can send out invitations and announce the wedding ourselves. Oh, but Catherine just screamed her head off, saying that would be a slap in the face to her parents, who are paying through the roof for this reception, not to mention her stepmother, who's gone through so much trouble, and she's not even her daughter. So I relented. I allowed myself to be persuaded because she wore me down. I finally agreed. Against my better judgment, I said, fine, Colette, who I absolutely detest, who's just a total bitch, her name is going to appear on the invitation. So I called my mom to warn her. Mom, I said, I've done everything I can to avoid this, but we have absolutely no choice. Colette's name has to appear on the invitation. Oh, well, if Colette's name is on the invitation, then take mine off. Mother, I said, I'm begging you, please, don't make things more difficult. How dare you suggest that my name be left to float alone on the card on its own, as if I were some abandoned woman below Colette who'll be clamped to your father's name like a limpet. Mother, I have friends waiting on me. We'll talk about this in the morning after a good night's sleep. Oh, well, why am I always an afterthought? What are you talking about? You're not always an afterthought. Oh, of course I am. Of course I am. And when you say don't make things more difficult, that just means that everything's already been decided. Everything's already been organized. Everything's been cooked up behind my back. Oh, good old Nadia. She'll agree to anything. And all this in aid to an event, get this, the importance of which I'm having some trouble grasping. Mother, I have friends waiting on me. Oh, that's right. Everything's more important. Everything's more important than I am. Goodbye. So then she hangs up. Now, Catherine, who's been listening to the conversation but hasn't heard her side, asked me, what did she say? She doesn't want her name next to Colette's on the invitation, which is understandable. I'm not talking about that. What did she say about the wedding? Nothing. You're lying. I'm not lying, Kathy. She just doesn't want her name next to Colette's on the invitation. Oh, yeah, well, you tell her that when your son's getting married, you rise above your vanity. You could say the same thing to your stepmother. That's got nothing to do with it. It's me. It's me. I'm the one, poor thing. She's tax personified. It's me. I'm the one insisting that her name be on it. I mean, if she had any clue the trouble that this is causing, she'd be down on her knees begging for her name to be taken off the invitation. Now, you call your mother. So I call her back. At this point, I'm in complete shreds. Yvonne, she says, up until this point, you've conducted your affairs in the most chaotic way imaginable, and all because you've decided out of the blue to embark upon matrimony, I'm obliged to spend an entire afternoon and evening with your father, a man I haven't seen in 17 years and to whom I wasn't expecting to reveal my hip size and puffy cheeks, not to mention Colette, who, according to Felix Perliarli, is now taking bridge. My mother has always loved bridge. Now, I can understand that none of that can be avoided, but on the invitation, the one item that everyone is going to receive and examine. Now, I insist on making a solo appearance. Now, Catherine's listening on the extension. I mean, her face is all scrunched up. She's looking at me in disgust. So I say, Mother, why are you being so selfish? I'm not being selfish. I'm not being selfish, Yvonne. And you're not going to start it. I mean, you're not going to do like Madame Romero did this morning when she said I was selfish, that I have a heart of stone, that everyone in our family has a heart of stone, all because I wouldn't raise her salary 60 francs an hour in cash. She had the gall to say I have a heart of stone. She's gone completely insane when she knows about poor Andre's pacemaker. And you haven't even bothered to drop him a line, have you? No, that's right. Everything's a joke to you. Everything's so funny. It's not me, Yvonne. It's you. It's you who has a lot to learn about life. But go on. Go to your precious friends.